Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss CBSE class 10 maths chapter 7 coordinate geometry. We've already discussed all the exercises and example related to the first concept, which is the distance formula. Okay, now this is the second conceptual video of this chapter. Children, please listen to it carefully so that you will be able to solve all the problems under this exercise. Okay, so this will lead to the questions in the second exercise, children. So this concept is regarding the section formula. Section, you need to know about the word section. Okay, so what is this section? Section means what? You are dividing something. Okay, so you are dividing into sections. So for example, in your class you are all divided into sections A, B, C and so on. Okay, so how are you divided? You are divided on the basis of your language or on some other basis, or on the basis of the alphabets, okay, or alphabetical order. So every school has their own criteria of dividing, children. So in that case, when they are going to divide, they will be dividing it in a particular ratio. For example, sometimes, or even in most of the cases, for example, if there are 40 children in one class, they will try to do it in such a way that there are 40 in each class. Okay, that means what? They are dividing it equally. They are dividing it equally. Or sometimes if it is going to be another extra 10, another extra 10, they may divide last two things into 30 and then they are going to divide some other number here. Okay, so extra 10 they might divide it to 35 and 35. So like that they might do it as per the requirement. So I've just told you what is dividing it into sections. So when dividing into section, it's important that we are looking in for the ratio, a particular ratio you will look in for. So you are dividing a line here. So here in the section formula, in coordinate geometry, you have a line and you are dividing this particular line at some point P, wherein it is dividing it in some ratio, that is m1 and m2. So it can be 2:3 or it can be 5:1 or any way. So it is just dividing it in the ratio m1 is to m2. Okay, so we have the line to be what? A, B. So you will have the coordinates for A and B, which we will take it as x1 comma y1, and here we will take it as x2 comma y2, and the point P you are taking it as x comma y. And to find out this point, you are going to apply the section formula, wherein you will be given m1 and m2, or m1 and m, the data will be slightly different. So we will be seeing three cases under the same section formula. The first case is where you are given the ratio and you are given the points A and B. You are asked to find out the point P. So in that case, the formula is m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, if you remember this one formula, the next formula we will remember automatically. I'll tell you how to remember. Okay, in the denominator, so you are dividing into the ratio m1 is to m2. So you remember you are adding both m1 and m2. Okay, so here you are going to add. So up, what you are going to do is you are going to start with m. Okay, and then you have x, and again you will have m, again you will have x. So what do you have here? 1. So if you have 1, you put 2. So 1 and 2, and you are going to reverse it, 2 and 1. Look at the formula, children. It's made easy, right? m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2. So what do you have to write here? The same thing, but instead of x, you are going to replace it with y, because the coordinate, so this is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate. So for the x coordinate, you are having all the x terms, and for the y coordinate, you are going to have all the y terms. So it will be the same thing. You are going to write the same thing. You are going to write divided by m1 plus m2. The same thing, you are writing m y plus m and y. So 1 2 2 1. So this will solve the problem of remembering the section formula. Okay, so this is how you will have to remember the section formula, children. So this is the first case of how you will be asked the question. Okay, what's the next case? Next case is where they have given you like the ratio in which P divides. Okay, there's again a point P which divides A, B in the ratio k is to 1. K is to 1 means what? This is nothing but m1 is to m2. That means they have given the value of m2 as 1. They have given the m1 value as k. Okay. So just substitute in the same thing. Instead of m1, k. Instead of x2, the same x2 only you will have. So instead of m2, what you will have? You will have 1. So you will have 1 into y1. Sorry, it is x1. Okay. So and then divided by m1 plus m2. m1 plus m2 is what? K plus 1. Comma. Then what do you have? m1 y2. m1 is what? K. K into y2 plus, or you can see the same thing and you can write it accordingly. Plus 1 into y1 divided by k plus 1. So this is the formula. Look at this, children. So this and this are the same. Okay. So this is when P is going to divide the same line AB in the ratio K is to 1. Okay. The third case is where you are dividing it equally. For example, you have 10 chocolates. You are distributing equally. You are going to distribute it like 5 and 5. So what will the ratio be? 5 is to 5. When you reduce it, you are going to have it as 1 is to 1. So if it is 1 is to 1, see clearly, children, you are having m1 as 1, you are having m2 as 1. Okay. So instead of k, you just replace it by 1. I'll just do it here itself so that you will be able to understand very easily. I am just replacing it here. So wherever I had k, I am writing as 1. Okay. So what is my 1 plus 1? 2. So here also it is 2. And on the top, the numerator, you have x1 plus x2. Okay. That is how you are getting this formula, children. So you are having this formula x1 plus x2 by 2, comma y1 plus y2 by 2. Okay. And this formula is called the midpoint formula. The same section formula, when it is going to be 1 is to 1, you call it as midpoint formula. And we are deriving it from the section formula only, children. So there is no change at all. Or you can also call it as midpoint formula. So you should remember midpoint formula is what? x1 plus x2 by 2, comma y1 plus y2 by 2. Is it clear, children? So we have three formulas here. The first one is what? The section formula, where you have 2 points A and B which are divided by a point P. So this is x1 comma y1 and this is x2 comma y2. It is dividing it in the ratio m1 is to m2 and the point P is x comma y. So this point P x comma y is got by this formula. I told you, write m1 plus m to the denominator and in the numerator write m and x. So 1 and 2, and for the next one it is same m and x, 2 and 1. Okay. When you replace this x by y, you will get for the y coordinate. Is it clear, children? So when you get this answer, for example, if you are going to get the answer is 3 comma 4, it means x comma y is 3 comma 4. The coordinates of P are going to be 3 comma 4. Okay. So where did we talk about this? This is when the same thing is going to divide in the ratio k is to 1. So instead of m1 and n2, it is in the ratio k is to 1. So even when you given something like this, if you use the same formula also, nothing wrong, children. The only thing is you are replacing m1 by k, you are replacing m2 by 1. So in that case, you will get this formula. The next one is this, wherein this is called as the midpoint formula. Okay, children. So simply when you are going to find out the midpoint of any given line, you just add the x coordinates divided by 2 and then you will add the y coordinates divided by 2 will give you the answer. So this is all about the concepts related to the section formula and what formula you are going to use here. Is it clear, children? So we have some examples and exercise which we will be starting off in the upcoming video, children. If you have any doubts, please get back to the videos once again. Even while using this, we might use a distance formula if needed. So you should be thorough with the first exercise. If any of you have missed the concept of the first exercise, or if you are having any doubts in them again, please get back to the first conceptual video. Thank you for watching, children.